Welcome back to Book Buzz with Jen and Ping, a podcast focused on romance books. So this week we will be talking about books that we finished reading, currently reading, and we will be getting into topics of what we like and not like in books. And we will be giving a small little review of the last episode of Driven Season 2.
So I didn't read much this week.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know. I didn't read that much. I don't think I had a lot to read.
Mm-hmm.
I did finish Twisted Games.
Okay. Yes.
And I remember I told you, I texted you when I finished. It was a really long book, and like you mentioned last week, it was a very fast yet slow transition, like story.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, it did jump around a lot. So one day they will be talking, and then it'll be like a week later, and then it'll be 6 weeks later, and then et cetera, et cetera. So it did feel like, but I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. And when they finally do get together, like Reese was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Yes. I did not picture him like that at all.
Yes.
Because he was so like, he was still that ruggy, kind of alpha, serious, reserved character. But once they get together, it was like,
yeah. See, he was a very controlled hero. Like he was able to control himself for those 2 years.
Yeah, but after that happened, it was like something clicked, and it was like that you never saw that guy again.
Yes.
But I did like it. I loved it a lot. I thought it was I loved their love story. I think it was so cute how she did so much to try to make their relationship work. And the part where, I don't know if it's really a spoiler. I'm just going to say it. So if you haven't read it, spoiler ahead. So whenever she was talking to all of those people and her grandpa about the pictures came out, and then her grandpa has a heart attack, I was like crying. I was like, that is the saddest thing ever. And then I knew, I was like, this is where she's going to break up with him because she's going to feel guilty. And it happened. I was like,
she got me mad.
And then he's out like drinking. I was like, no. But it was I loved it. I thought it was very good. I'm so excited for the next one because it's the brother of the first book, Heroine. And I know we didn't see much of them in Twisted Games, but in Twisted Love, we did see them always bickering, and they just didn't like each other. And every time the Heroine on the first book did something wrong, the brother would blame her friend.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested and, curious on how that's going to play out. So, you know how in Twisted Games, Alex, the friend, Ava, I think that's her name, want to go visit her. And she's like, picking at her, saying how she has Alex wrapped around her finger. And he's like, oh my God, are you okay? He turns around all panicky. I was like, oh, I miss them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was really cute, but I did love the book. I'm so excited for the third one. But I do wish we would get like a novella of the brother of this Heroine in Twisted Games. You know how he fell in love with the the flight attendant, I think it was.
Yeah, Sabrina.
Yes. And then he dropped everything to be with her. And I was like, that would be at least a novella, like seeing how their relationship started, and then when he decided to leave everything for her. That would be so cute. So I finished that one. I finished it. I finished Ignite. by Cassandra Robinson. I don't know if I think when we did the podcast last week, I had mentioned how I started that series. I don't know if I mentioned did. Do you remember if I finished it when we started it or no?
No, I don't think so. I think you said that you're currently reading the 4th book.
Okay, so I did finish the 4th book. And it was I loved it. Because I remember saying that this hero, every time he came out in the other books, he was very intimidating. He scared me. So I was very curious as to how his story was going to be. He is very hard-headed. I am going to say that. But I loved it. Like, I have to say the first is my favorite. Then it has to be the 4th, then the 3rd, and then the 2nd. But I loved it. It was if you like MC and you like total alpha heroes, steamy books where even though the hero denies him wanting anything with the heroine, but he can't, let the heroine go, these books are for you. Like MC, steamy, alpha hero, sassy heroine, because these heroines aren't that weak, then this series is for you. I loved it. It is. And I'm so excited for Rise that releases, I think, next month. So, I love that cover. So I'm so excited for that one. And I think we're going to see some of these characters in there. So I'm very curious about that. I'm very excited. I also finally picked up T.L. Swan's The Stopover. I finally read it. I finally read it. And when did we start reading it? Thursday.
I think Thursday
night. Because I told you, okay, I'm finally reading it, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to read them, and you're like, we should read it. Like you said, I haven't read it in a while.
Yeah,
I should read it with you. I was like, let's read it together. So we were reading. You fell asleep on me. And I just kept reading it, and it's funny because I bought this paperback. I didn't buy the ebook. I bought it on paperback, so I was reading the paperback. And in the morning, first of all, I went to sleep like at 3 a.m. I was reading it. I would put it down, and I was like, let me read a little bit more. And so in the morning, I was like, I should buy it on Kindle so I can read it at work, because I stopped taking my books to work and stuff. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna take the book, because Fridays are a very slow day.
Yeah.
So I remember we were texting back and forth, and there was a time where I forgot what I texted you, and you thought I was talking about something else, but I was talking about the book.
Yes. I remember what you said. You're like, oh my gosh, that B is back. I was like, oh my gosh, who?
You thought I was talking about somebody at work. I was like, I'm talking about the book.
Yes.
So it was like, I read it. I finished it yesterday when I got home from work, because I got home like at 5. So I came home, did my coffee, and just finished it. And I loved it. It was it's the type of books I like. That makes sense, because I don't think I'm picky on picking up books. I don't like when books rush. I don't, so I was scared that it was going to be very fast paced.
Yeah.
Which it was in a fast pace, but it makes sense for their characters. So I finished it, loved it. I think Jameson, he was very alpha, yet very reserved at the same time. And I remember there's a scene on there where he goes and visits his ex-girlfriend, and I texted you. I was like, the nerve of him to go to go see his ex-girlfriend, which he was still committed to, by the way. The nerve. I was like fuming. I was, but I loved it, and I thought it was very. And I mentioned this to you when I started reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the books, okay, all of the books we read, we know they're steamy.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was the first book that I read where the heroine was very opened and very vocal of what she wanted during the sex scenes. Because most of the time the hero is like, let me hear you say this or say this. And what do you feel? What do you want? You know what I mean? And it's like on this one, she just was like, woo. Even he was surprised. Because and I told you that, like, this is the first book I read where the heroine is very, which I love because it tells you how independent and how you know she stands and she believes on herself and she doesn't hide from what she wants. It can be sexually, it can be, you know, in life or whatever. So I loved it. I liked it. I was shocked. I was like, whoa. Whoa. And I text you, and that's when you're like, maybe I should read it too. I was like, let's read it. Let's have a buddy read. Did you finish it?
I did.
I was like, I should have waited for her so we could have kept reading together. But I'm supposed to get the second book today. And so I'll probably read it either today or tomorrow.
You'll love that one.
Everyone I am very... I mean, I love the first one. I loved it. And I'm definitely going to read her other books. Like I said, I ordered the second book. So I should get it today. If I don't... So I'm going out today. So if I get home sober...
Oh my God.
Then I'll read it. Then I'll definitely pick it up. I mean, well, of course I'm going to pick it up. Then I'm definitely going to start reading it today. But if not, I'll definitely start reading it tomorrow. But I am going to read her previous books too, which someone told me to read Mr. Garcia, but isn't that an age? Is that an age gap? I don't know why I think it's an age gap.
It's he is older than her, but it's not considered. The age gap is not an issue in the book.
How much is the age gap though?
12 years.
That's an age gap.
It's an age gap, but it's not really an issue in the book. But oh my gosh, I have to say, Mr. Garcia literally gave me. I was
okay. What is that one about?
That one was.
Wait, is that the first one of that, or is it Mr. Masters?
Mr. Masters is the first one, and then Mr. Spencer is the second, and Mr. Garcia is the third one.
Okay, so what is Mr. What is it? The first one.
Mr. Masters, he's a judge, and he hired her to be the nanny. He has 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl, if I remember correctly. And then she was the nanny. There's the one scene from that book that I will never forget. Because they love playing golf, right? And so she drove the golf cart around over his foot.
Is that one an age gap too?
I believe I think so. I think that one and Mr. Garcia are both age gap, but Mr. Spencer is not. But Mr. Spencer, he is a huge playboy.
Oh my gosh.
So when I first read that one, I was like, how the heck is he going to redeem himself from all his, you know? But then I don't think any of that was mentioned. He was already a playboy, and then he met her, and then he stopped being but I loved all of T's books. So I might be biased. So I don't know, but I love all of her books.
It's okay to be biased. I'm biased too.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so I'm gonna pick up her book. So like I said, I'm gonna read the Takeover, and I'll let you know.
Yes,
because in case you missed it, we are interviewing her soon. Next week, we're interviewing her next week.
Yes, we are. Mhm.
Well, actually, when this podcast goes live, we interview her this week.
Yes. Mhm.
So keep an eye on that for an interview. And if you have
Mhm.
questions for her, drop them in that post that we did on Instagram and we'll ask her.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I read that one, and then I read Give Me a Reason by Ellie Jackson. The cover is beautiful. I am gonna
Yes.
say the cover is gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's so like, I don't know, intimidating, sexy,
Mhm.
dark, yet I don't know. I can't I loved it. And that one releases, I think. When does that one release?
This month.
Yeah, it releases
The 30th.
so yeah, it releases on the 30th. So check that one out. And I feel like that's all I read this week.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't much, but I kid you not, I was gonna read this. Like I had a little stack of books that I wanted to read,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't. Like if I go back and listen to the podcast I did last week, I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
all the books I said I was gonna read this week, I did not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's okay. Next week. So hopefully next week we can talk about the takeover.
Yes.
And maybe until, because I have to wait for the third one. So
yeah,
I'll probably pick up her other series. So
yeah.
I'll definitely talk about those. But that's all I read this week.
For me, I don't really remember what I read this past week.
Is it because you read a lot, or it's because...
No, I didn't. I didn't read a lot at all. I totally slack off this past week. Let me see. I think it's because I think I've said it a lot of times, how I've said whenever I read any of Teal Swan's books, I always end up in a book slump. And so I think it's because I read the Casanova and I am still in a book slump. But I read the Italian Marriage by N.J. Adel. I think, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure I butchered the name. But I read the Italian Marriage and oh my gosh, girl, this book I seriously couldn't put it down. Like, okay, I don't know if you saw my post, but the story was, so she married the Cosimo. I think that was his name. Cosimo, who he's the leader of the mafia, of the Italian mafia. And then she married him. And so she wanted him to get out of the mafia world because she said she don't want to be in that world. She said it's too dangerous for them since they had a baby. And so at first he was against it. He didn't want to get out of it. And so once he decided to get out of the mafia world, his family, quite messed up, honestly. His family pretty much killed him. His own twin brother was one who pulled the trigger on him. I was like, oh my gosh, but it does not happen in the book. That was just explained in the book, but then it started right off where they kidnapped her, where the brother, the hero, Enzio, he's the other twin brother, he kidnapped her and then said that she has to marry him. If she don't marry him, then the baby is pretty much not going to have a mom. So he said, because he loved the baby as much as it was his. So there's a lot of hate in this book. A lot of hate.
So wait, does she end up staying with the Enzo?
Yeah, she did. She ended up marrying him.
But he killed her husband.
Yes. Yes. Like, I totally get this. It's like, I don't get, like, the logic. I'm pretty sure people are like, why the heck? how in the world and why in the world would you even marry a guy who killed your husband, who you loved?
The father of your kid.
Yes. But it was so good. Like, in my mind, that totally goes through my mind. But as you keep on reading, everything just clicks. And it's like, oh, wow, this is actually very entertaining. Like, I couldn't put it down. I'm pretty sure, don't tell anyone at work, but I'm pretty much read at work throughout the whole day. I did not work. I was reading. And I couldn't put it down because I was so intrigued. Like, there was a lot of twists and turns in the book. I did not saw it coming. And you should totally pick it up. I love it. I read that one, and then I reread the Stopover with You, and just reminds me of how much I love the Miles brother. Like, okay, because Jameson, he was very, because I've read all 3 books already. Jameson, he's a very, like you said earlier, he's reserved, very alpha. And then Tristan is someone who pretty much, how do you even say, wear his heart on the sleeves?
Oh, he wears his heart on his sleeve?
Yeah. Yeah, that Tristan is more like that, but he is still very alpha. And Elliot is someone who's still believes in magic, like into that soulmate and everything. And so each book, but then like I totally did not remember in the Stopover when she said that Jameson and Elliot are more alike, and Tristan and Christopher are more alike. So I was like, oh, so maybe the storyline might be kind of similar in a way. But and I did not remember. I don't know if the Ferreras are the same family as her Italian series. I don't know if you saw the Italian by T.O. Swan. You didn't see the cover? Mm-mm. Okay, this one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this one, they are the Ferreras.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if these are connected to the ones in the series, in the Mile High Club series. And so I was like, wait a minute, are these the same people? Are these the same Ferreras? I should probably ask her. But Gabriel did not appear in the other ones. So
for next week.
Oh,
that's a good right. question for next
week. Oh, yes. I'll totally ask her that. So yeah, those are pretty much the 2 books that I've read this past week. Mm-hmm.
I know. I feel like I read a lot. At the same time, I feel like I didn't read a lot. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know for sure I'll read The Takeover. So, and then next week, who knows? What do you? Okay, let me word it this way, just because that way it makes a little bit more sense. Okay. When you read a book, what is something that you look and you love while you're reading that book? Like, is it the slow burn? Is it the chase and catch? Is it the enemies to lovers where he's after her, she doesn't, etc., etc.? Like, so what do you like when you're reading a book?
For me, slow burn is something that I don't really looking forward to. Sometimes because sometimes slow burn works and sometimes it doesn't. And so I don't really look into slow burn. But what I really look in a book is definitely enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers. And let's see. Because for I really love angsty books too, though, because sometimes angsty books are really slow burn. But at the same time, if the book is too slow, I don't know.
But I think that falls under the same as slow burn, because you can have angst and still be a slow burn.
Yeah. But then there are times when it doesn't. The book's just, you get what I mean. So yeah. I think, yeah.
For me, I feel that, I mean, it depends on the book, like you said. I think some books have to be a slow burn. But I do think that too much of a slow burn kills the hype of the story. Because I know I spoke to you about a book that I read not long ago on how it was so slow. Like nothing happened between, not even a kiss, not even nothing until like 85% of the book.
That's crazy.
That to me was like, it's not that I didn't like it, but it didn't grab my attention in loving the book, as you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was so slow. Like, and like, it had angst, but it didn't really connect both of them. It didn't show when they fell in love or anything. And maybe that's one of the reasons some slow burns are out there, because they want to show the readers when they fell in love. But I think, I mean, it's at the end, it's fiction. So you can have slow burn, but not big slow burn. You know what I mean? Like, for me, a slow burn that I would read is where the hero and the heroine get together, like in either 50% of the book. Because you still have the other 50% who like see them together as a couple, because you're spending all this time reading a book and you don't even see them as a couple. You know what I mean? It's like it's like when you're watching a movie, it's, you don't see them get together until the very last of the movie, and you're like, so we saw how they worked as not a couple. Why can't we see them work as a couple? So I mean, that's what I don't like. Like a slow burn, it depends on how it's done. I also don't like what we were talking about before. I get some stuff needs to be detailed, but I don't like when things get over detailed. Like if you're trying to explain how someone looks or how they make you feel, don't give me a whole page and a half of telling me exactly what you're feeling inside. Like, you know what I mean? Like explain it, get me inside, like paint a picture for me, but don't overpaint it to where you're, I don't know if it makes sense. But I do love an enemies to lovers. I love the tug in the pool. I love the angst. I love being intrigued on how they're going to get together. Like when I read Holly Renee's The Touch of a Villain, that's an enemies to lovers. And the reason I liked it so much is because we get a little glimpse of them having feelings for each other, and then it turns to an enemies to lovers, and then you start, like, I don't know, seeing them fight something that they feel, for me, is, I love it. Because it keeps you on the edge. You're like, oh my gosh, when are they gonna finally cave and admit it or go for it? So I love that whole, I do love a small town too, though. And I love a small town because it makes me wish I lived on a small town.
I live in a small town. I think one of the slow burn that I love, really, really love, is the Dare to Love duet by Lila James. Because in the first book.
But that wasn't really a slow burn, because they would like flirt with each other. And you would see the glimpse of, well, they didn't get together until the last.
They didn't even do anything, girl.
But you would see him like fight his feelings for her though.
Yeah, but then it's pretty much a slow burn. They didn't do anything. Won't you consider that a slow burn?
Well, yeah, because they didn't get together into the end.
Yeah. But then
in the second book, you're like,
yeah. Yes.
Can't keep their hands off each other.
Yep. Second book, 50% was pretty much all just.
Well, with Lila James, her other series, I forgot the name of it. It's the Angel. The Mafia and his Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that trilogy, man. It still makes me cry. It is one of the toughest series I've ever read. And it's because of what happens in there. But it's perfect. But the first book is very slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very, very slow burn. But I think the situation in that book, it makes sense for it to be a slow burn. Because the heroine in that book goes through the unthinkable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her situation, if they would have rushed into a relationship, I would have been like, this sucks. But because it is a slow burn, I 100% love that it is a slow burn because of what the heroine in the book has gone through and is going through. And then once you read it, it makes sense. Because I don't want to give away, because I know you haven't read it.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give away anything, because to this day, that trilogy has to be my favorite from Lila. But it does give me anxiety. I do skip, I think it's from book 2, some of book 2 or 3. I forgot where something happens that I cannot bring myself to reread. But it's such an amazing trilogy. It is. The first book, like I said, it's a slow burn. The White Monarch by Jessica Hawkins. It's a slow burn. That one did piss me off a little bit, because I'm like, girl, just cave. But perfect. Chef kisses. It was really good. But yeah, I think it depends on the situation and the book that the author creates. Because some slow burn works, some slow burn, when there's not really a big explanation as to why. I'm like, why is it a slow burn? Like, get it on already. Come on. But that, I mean, I don't know. I give him a chance. Rebellious by Christy Marie. That one was sort of like a slow burn. Because it's a Friends to Lovers. Oh my God, but the angst was fire. Like, I was on the edge of my seat, like, when are these two gonna finally get it on? It was really good. And I cried. It made me cry. But it was really good. I think it depends, to be honest. But I also love A Single Parent.
Yes.
I love when the author gives us that single parent, you know, am I ready for a relationship or am I not? And we see them. I don't know. I feel that then when authors write single parents, like, I don't know, it makes me swoon more.
That's why I say you will love The Takeover, because Tristan is not the single parent, but his girl is the single mom. So
why'd you spoil it for me?
Girl, it's in the blurb.
I haven't read the blurb. I was going into it blind.
I've told you before, girl. I told you before. Well, I just reminded you right now. That's slow. It's a single parent. Single parent is, I don't know. It somehow it touches you more. Like, maybe because of the kid. I don't know.
Girl, Come Back For Me from Corin Michaels. Oh my God. Like, it's my
Yes.
favorite kid. And Wrecked Palace by Catherine Cowles. Well, it's not really a single parent, but she takes care of her siblings. And the little girl, oh my God, I love her. Like, I need Catherine to write their books, but I love some of the kids that I'm just like, they're so adorable and they're so cute. Like, I wish I had a niece that was like that adorable and cute.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it a lot of times, is when a heroine is too stubborn. Like, some, you guys know me, I always tend to side with the hero more. Even when the hero is stubborn, I'm like, oh, I still like him. But when it's the heroine who's stubborn, oh my gosh, I will get really frustrated. I will seriously really want to throw my phone across the room, because she's so stubborn and I'm annoyed. Like, there are times when,
but the heroes are stubborn too.
I know, but there are times when the heroine is so stubborn that it does not look sexy at all. And it's not because they're sassy, it's just because they're stubborn. And that's just a huge turn off for me.
Do you get as annoyed?
No, I don't.
Why? It's the same
I
thing.
don't know. I seriously don't know. I think it's because I don't know. I don't know why. It's a logic that I'm trying to figure out why. But in books, I always tend to side, even in movies. Sometimes I side with the guys more. I don't side with the girls. So yeah. But when the girl is too stubborn, so annoying. But and one thing I have to say, I don't really pick up books that I don't like. There's been only at least maybe 2 or 3 that I would force myself to finish reading. And there's only been one book that I DNF. And all the books that I've picked up, I've finished reading or I loved. There's only 2 or 3 that I did not like and force myself to finish. I don't pick up books that I don't like. So I will say the book that I did not finish, I don't think it's like 2 years ago or so. I don't remember, but I don't remember the title, but it was something Vows by Alessandra Torre.
Oh, yeah.
With that very pretty cover where the lady was at the window. And I saw that cover. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks really... I read the blurb and I was like, oh, this sounds like it might be interesting. And then I read it.
But that's a cheating book, isn't it? Or they sleep with other people?
Something, kind of, maybe. I didn't finish because the heroine got on my nerve. Because she was like, I do not like cheating people, blah, 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 blah. And then guess what? She was into her husband's friend. And so I was like, wait, that was the first book ever that I DNF. And I don't even think I left a review for it, because I was like, I don't like the book. I'm not going to even write a review for it. So I just, whatever.
But I mean, it's good if you write a review. You don't have to bash it, though. You could just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, I don't want to waste time writing a review and I don't like the book. You know what I mean?
Well, I did the same thing, because the only book I've DNF was Inhale, Exhale, I think, by C.L. Matthews. And the reason was that, again, I don't like cheating. That one was a cheating. Like, the hero was cheating on the heroine, and then the heroine ended up sleeping with the hero's brother, and then got pregnant by the hero's brother, but still stayed with the hero.
Okay.
And the only reason I know how it ended is because I read a review, but I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it. And I did rate it what I thought deserved, but I didn't write a review.
Yeah. Cheating is a trope that I will try to avoid at all cost.
Cheating, and I don't like reverse harem. Well, I don't like R8. I don't like
Mhm.
RH. I don't like when the hero or the heroine sleep around in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Those.
I don't know. To me, it takes away from the love story between the hero and the heroine.
Yeah.
Because if you're with the hero, but you're out there sleeping around with some other people, then you don't really have feelings for the hero, or you know,
Yeah.
the opposite. The hero doesn't have feelings for the heroine.
Yeah. Hmm. Like I get some where they say they are more, what is it? More wild in a in that in their sexuality. I don't have anything against that. I don't. But there are times when it's like, is it really necessary?
I mean, to each their own, but that's
Yeah.
to me, that's not my cup of tea. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother by picking up something that I know it's gonna be like that to me, then not liking it. And not
Yeah.
only wasting my time when I can be reading a
Hmm.
book that I like, but also
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out and read a book and then write a review about me picking it up and not like I don't know. It's just there's no, like you said, it's wasting your time. It's
Yeah.
wasting. So why bother? So I
Yeah.
try like you. I avoid cheating. I avoid RH.
Hmm.
I avoid like books where the heroine or the hero sleep around. So
Yeah. Do and I have to say, cheating is a trope that I avoid, but
mhm.
I've read two, three. I think we've talked about it because we talked about tropes we didn't like, and
Mhm.
we've talked about cheating. And the three books of cheating that I loved is The Evolution of Sin Trilogy by Gianna Darling, Forgive Me Not by QB Tyler, and Letters to Molly by Devney Perry.
But that would see, but the letters Somali, I think the reason I love it
Mm-hmm.
is because the cheating is never, they never put that scene in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know she cheated,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
we never see that scene
Yeah.
of her cheating. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Same thing with Forget Me Not also, because we know he cheated, but it was not really mentioned or
Mm-hmm.
in but I don't know.
I know, and then for me too, I don't know. For me, I would not forgive a cheater. So I'm just like, why am I gonna read a book when I'm just gonna get mad at the heroine for taking back the hero, or it's
Yeah.
the opposite after they cheated on you?
Yeah.
So, but so though that's pretty much what we like and don't like in a book. Again, that's
Mhm.
our opinion.
Yeah.
This is not us bashing like authors or anything. That's just what
Mhm.
we don't like to read.
Mhm.
So the fourth and final episode of Driven season 2 premiered Thursday.
Mhm.
I watched it. I think I watched it Thursday. Yeah, I watched it Thursday because I didn't work that
Mhm.
day. And the ending gave me freaking chills though.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start off there. It gave me chills like when you hear Beck screaming Wood and
Mhm.
Olivia like freaking like trying to comprehend and
Mhm.
finally knowing what the heck is going on. Like it gave me the chills and it
Mhm.
made my eyes watery.
Yeah.
I loved it. I did love where they after tries to run away from the hotel when they sleep together,
Mhm.
he goes after her
Mhm.
and then takes her back and they talk.
Mhm.
That whole scene I thought was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. Because it's like you get a glimpse of inside his heart, of Colton's
Mhm.
heart,
Yeah.
and the way like Riley is looking at him, understanding, not judging. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like Mike and Olivia really outdid themselves in that scene because
Mhm.
you're hearing what they're saying,
Mhm.
but you're feeling what they're feeling just by looking at their eyes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I loved that scene. I
Mhm.
loved Dane. I love the extra scenes they added of Dane.
Mhm.
Because I just love Tommy. Where he's like, "Oh, we all got issues, honey. Just ask my therapist." Oh my god, I
Yeah.
bursted out laughing.
Yeah.
um, I love Bryce as Bex.
Yeah.
Love Bryce as Bex. I love Olivia. She's the sweetest. I'm playing favorites, and I'm just gonna say she's literally the best one. I love her. And but I will say the last sex scene, in my opinion, was the steamiest scene of the whole season.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I really was hoping that this season was gonna be steamier like the first season.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned last week, I feel that that's what this season didn't grasp.
Yeah.
It didn't deliver the steam that the fans were expecting.
Yeah.
The last sex scene I thought was steamiest. I liked it. I was like, finally, they're getting it on.
I saw. I was like, wait, seriously, is Michael? Yeah.
So I was like, finally. I do have. I'm disappointed because I'm a big fan of the books. I love the second book, especially. There's so many scenes that I freaking loved. And I feel that Passion Flicks took out important little details that they might have cut down to save time, but were important to the fans. Like, I don't know if you remember the scene where he goes to chase her when she's running from the hotel. They cut that scene. They cut it, and that whole speech of her running away and him chasing her was so beautiful and so good in the book that I'm so sad they cut it down. And not only that, in the series, he has his shirt on and he's chasing her. In the book, he's shirtless and he's wet because he just got out the shower. And he remembers it, and he notices that she leaves, so he goes after her.
Yeah.
So that scene, I was disappointed. And the scene that literally crushed my heart that they changed was the bar and hotel scene fight. I kept telling you for years that I was so excited for that scene, and it is unfortunately not how I expected it to be. Like, they don't even fight. Like, we get it, he's angry, but like, it was very awkward.
Yeah, we didn't see jealous Colton.
No,
I don't think. Like, he was just, what are you doing? And then
yes, he didn't even pay attention to him. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I was very, and it sucks to say this because I was so excited for that scene, but unfortunately, that scene was so not done right. Yeah, but that's my opinion. I was very upset. I was very upset. I was like, no. But but overall, I loved it. I feel like Olivia did really good. That scene where she looks so beautiful in her blue dress. Yeah. When she goes to see Colton, and Colton kisses that girl, aka his real girlfriend. Yeah. I thought she looked beautiful. I'm like, Olivia, blue is your color. Love it. I do love that scene where Riley talks to Shane. That whole scene was really cute, though. I loved it. So, like I said, overall, I love the season. I do wish the steamy scenes would have been steamier. Yeah. And I do wish they would have left some stuff in there like it was in the book for it to make sense, because they cut stuff and it feels rushed. And it's like you said last week, it makes it feel rushed that other people who have not read the book doesn't understand what's going on. Yeah. So that's my thought. But overall, I loved it. I know they worked really hard, especially during the pandemic. So I give them props. It's I definitely recommend it 100%. Olivia and Michael are phenomenal. I loved it. Michael delivers so much just by looking at his eyes. And I don't know, like that last scene still kills me. Still kills me.
Well, I totally forgot to watch it. And then I was like, oh, we're going to talk about our podcast. So I watched it this morning because you know me, when I'm reading, I'd rather be reading. I don't really watch anything
You
at
don't
all.
really watch TV.
Yeah, I don't. So, and if it's like once a week like that, my attention span at all is very, very small. So if I stopped on something, then I don't want to pick it back up. So I totally forgot about it. And then I watched it this morning. And I have to say that ending scene was really, really rushed for me. I understand it's a small company. The budget is not a huge, big budget. So I understand they did their best for that last scene, but everything was moving so fast that by the time I know, like they just barely started racing. And by the time I know, the crash already happened. And I was like, wait, what? Seriously? I missed it. I have to rewatch it. Because I wasn't expecting, I didn't think it was going to go that fast. But it went by really fast for me. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought maybe because I don't know if you've ever seen that Driven movie by Sylvester Stallone and okay, well, yeah, that's a race. It's those Formula race car movies, and I love the way how they did all those stuff for that Driven movie. And for this one, everything went by really fast. And I was expecting a little bit more of racing because I myself love watching racing like that. So I was expecting a little bit more for the racing, but coming from a small company, there's really nothing you can do much about it. So I still give them props for being able to do that. But and another scene that really that made me side with Colton instead of Riley. You see how stubborn Riley was? Oh my gosh. I was like, girl, just stop. Because you know how when he said that I already told you that he's broken and that she have to just accept him. And guess what? He literally told her that nothing happened, but her stubbornness, oh my gosh, got me really irritated. While I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, I seriously wanted to slap Riley. Like she didn't.
But in the book, she was like that. In the book, she was very stubborn.
Yeah, she was crazy stubborn. That's why I said I do not like heroines when they are really stubborn because they get really annoying. Well, he said that she had some papers for him to sign. That's why she came to where Bex and he was drinking. And so,
but I think in the book, I think then they end up having like a small party of them drinking with more women, and they end up falling asleep. I think that's what happened. Don't quote me, but all I know that they all got drunk and they ended up like sleeping there.
Yeah, but he said he didn't do it. But guess what? She seriously do not trust Colton at all.
Okay, but after he left her, girl, look, this is a fight we're not gonna win because your team Colton, I'm team Riley. Like, left her, he treated her wrong. He never gave her explanations. He had his ex in his house wearing one of his shirts. Of course she's gonna be upset, and of course she's not gonna believe him. Be like, she has trust issues. A relationship, in order for a relationship to work, trust is one of the biggest. Trust needs to be earned. It's not given. And he did not. No.
But girl, she said he is worth fighting for. But did she fight for him at all? She totally didn't.
Because he had his ex in his house.
His ex worked for him.
Doesn't matter. Team Riley on this one, 100%.
No, Team Colton. I seriously think Michael did that scene so perfect. How when he said that she never, that she didn't accept his broken side, and he went out, and that was where she was crying against the wall.
Girl, that scene where he's like, "You and your animals and ducks." First that I'm laughing. I was like, I love it. I love that.
Yes, I laughed too. I was like, oh my gosh, it was perfect. And I seriously think Michael did that scene so perfect. Like how he had tears in his eyes, and he said that to Riley. I was like, that's right, Riley. You did not accept him. I was like, I was mad at Riley.
But yeah, that scene was so hilarious. I laughed. I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like perfect.
Yeah. I don't remember if I said it last week, but I seriously think they have a really, really toxic relationship.
It's a like
they're always arguing, girl. Like always. But
if you remember the book, I mean, that's how they were in the book. Yeah. But I do think in the book we did see more of them, of their relationship, which makes you understand why they are the way they are. And I did see a comment online about how Colton was really toxic. And I'm just like, no, he's not toxic. It's he went through something really, really, really tough.
Yeah.
And Riley, she has a past too, where, I mean, it hasn't been bright. So you have to look where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Don't judge.
I just did.
I don't think it's really toxic. I think it's more of they're not Colton is not used to being in a relationship and caring for someone, especially after what he went through. And Riley is used to the long-term love, openness, opposite to what Colton is. So of course you're going to crash. It's water and oil.
Oh my gosh, girl, I just remembered that Bex and Hattie are both Team Colton.
Yeah.
They totally were.
Yeah.
Because Hattie
even Dane was Team Colton.
Heck yeah. I'm on the right side.
It's okay. I'm Team Riley. Team Riley right here.
No. So yeah. I love how I love how Bryce played Bex. He is literally Bex. And I really, really, really wish that Passion Flix would do Bex and Hattie's book. I think they will make such a cute couple.
I do have to say, I love the song they added in the last scene where the accident happened.
Yeah, that was.
I loved it. I think that's what gave me the chills too. I'm like, oh my God, it's fitting. See, the only song I did not like in a scene was the mirror scene. I think that is the only song that I think they messed up on the scene because it didn't fit. All the other songs fit perfectly on every scene except that one.
Yeah,
but that last song, oh my God, it was so good. I really hope we get a soundtrack because I mean, unfortunately, we haven't gotten season 1 soundtrack, which I think back and I really like those songs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do hope we get it. I mean, they did Gabriel's Inferno soundtrack, so hopefully we get the first season soundtrack and we get the second soundtrack. Hopefully, I mean, here's to hoping and crossing my fingers because I do think Driven, in my opinion, is phenomenal. The series overall, it is phenomenal. I loved it. They were, like I said, I was disappointed or sad more, actually, not overall. Some scenes that I wish were different.
Yeah.
But overall, I loved it. I mean, I loved the dedication, the hard work. I loved Michael. I loved Olivia as Riley and Colton. There were some scenes like the whole your animals and ducks and stuff scene that made me laugh my butt off. Yeah. So overall, it's an amazing, beautiful love story.
Yeah.
And I do hope and I wish people would watch it more. And I really hope we get to see more of it just because like the soundtrack, I hope we get the soundtrack for that. I hope season 2 gets a soundtrack too. I hope season 3 can't come fast enough. And Christy is gonna be taking out the Fueled paperback with the movie edition cover. So if you want that, keep an eye on her Instagram because I know she said she was gonna be selling those individually. But if you want like a box, like a driven box where it has goodies and stuff, check out her page on Instagram, because she did put a link that she's selling limited quantity.
Yes.
And limited edition items. It's in that box. So for the Driven season 2. So check that out. I mean, she put a sneak peek of everything, of some of the stuff she's going to add on the box in her group today. And it is so gorgeous. I do hope, and I really do hope people pick up the book series, because the book series is available. It's a must read. I love the books. Love the books. And I am, after that ending, my butt's gonna read crashed. So I really hope people pick up the books, as well as I really hope people watch the series, because I do love it. It is different.
Yeah.
But it's still the book. So you're still gonna enjoy it. Some stuff are missing, some stuff are different. But overall, I loved it. It is really good. Michael and Olivia give it their all.
Yes.
And that's all you can hope for when you're watching a book be turned into a movie. You hope that the people portraying these characters give their heart for this role. And they did. You can tell. I mean, I'm telling you, there's some scenes where you just look at Michael's and Olivia's eyes, and you're like, I get it. I get what they're trying to say without them saying it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Overall, I think for me, if it would have been more steamy, it would have been off the rocket.
Yeah.
But it did miss steam. So I really hope for Driven season 3. Because the last steamy scene was hot compared to the other ones. So I really hope for season 3, they keep up those scenes. I can't wait for season 3.
Yep. Don't know when it'll be out, but
I'm crossing my fingers that they invite Olivia to sing in the soundtrack, because I did run into a tweet where Passionflix has said in 2018, which is so long ago, that they had invited Olivia to sing for the next season, which is season 2.
Yeah.
And we didn't get an Olivia song. Why, Passionflix? Why? So hopefully they invite Olivia for season 3. If not, you can bet your butt that I'm gonna spam them with "We Want Olivia" in season 3 soundtrack. Because
at the premiere, she did say that they haven't said anything to her.
I know. And if people know me, I'm a hardcore Olivia supporter. Like, I love her to pieces. And I'm gonna spam them. And I hope they invite her for the season 3 soundtrack.
Yeah.
So crossing my fingers that happens. Yes, overall, like I said, I loved it. And I really hope you guys check it out. If you want to watch it, go to passionflix.com and you can sign up. You can sign up for a monthly subscription, which is, I believe, $5.99 a month. If not, you can do just a 1 month subscription, or I believe a 2 or 3 month subscription. So, but definitely check it out. Keep an eye out for season 3. So make sure you're following Christy on Instagram to check out when that book with the movie tie cover comes in. Make sure you're following Olivia and Michael, and hopefully we have news on season 3 towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Crossing my fingers. But yeah, so check it out. It is, like I said, available on passionflix.com, and it's also available on Roku. I've never tried Roku, and Amazon Prime. So if you're subscribed to Amazon Prime, go ahead and check it out on Amazon Prime. But it's definitely worth the watch. You're going to love it. You're going to fall in love with Olivia and Michael. You're going to fall in love with Dane. I love Dane. Sammy. I love him. And you're like Bags, everybody. You're going to love it. So check it out, and then just let us know what you think of it. We want to know. Yeah, but that's it for this week's podcast. I hope you enjoyed our little book talk and our mini review on the 4th episode, season finale of Driven season 2. So definitely watch it. It's a must. I loved it. We loved it. It's amazing. Definitely watch it. Also, like we mentioned earlier, we are going to be interviewing Teal Swan. So be on the lookout for that interview. And we also announced yesterday that Devney Perry / Willa Nash is our next author interview after Teal Swan. Girl, I am so excited. I am so nervous. I am ecstatic. I love Devney. It is a dream to have her on here with us. I have so many questions. We're going to be talking about all her series. Like, I made a post in her group this week about asking people which book of hers, and they could only pick one, is her favorite of hers. And then she made one, and I was like, now I know what they felt. Like, it's so hard to pick just one favorite book of hers. Mm-hmm. I love all of her books, so I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about her book series, her characters, her heroes that are just the best, and Tin Queen, which releases very soon. Can't wait to talk about that. And so make sure if you do have any questions for her, head over to our Instagram at BookBuzz Podcast and submit your questions. And that way we can ask her anything you guys want to know. So if you have any questions for us, let us know. So many fun things are coming and exciting things that we can't wait. And thank you so much for tuning in for another week. We'll see you guys next week. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Send us a message on Instagram, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.